Today we're going to build a bang for the buck gaming PC for just 500 bucks on the new components including the graphics card and on the last gen processor. Destroy the like button and let's get started. Hi, I'm Arsik. As I promised you in the last expensive build, today we're going to do something special. It's a great machine for $500 only, which is going to be great for 1080p gaming. You can build it yourself, just check the links in the description. It's pretty easy. And right now I'm going to show you how. As CPU I recommend you choosing this one. It's an Intel CPU Core i3 10100F. It's a version without iGPU, so of course we will save the money like that, and we will use a graphics card anyway, so we don't need it. For the motherboard, just choose the cheapest model on H410 chipset. For me today it's a Gigabyte version S2H. It's compatible with this processor, it's LGA 1200. Perfect. And to save money you can find something like that. It's 1060 with 6GB video memory from MSI. It's used. I bought it for about 130-40 bucks, so yeah, it's a great deal. Right now it's pretty easy to find something like that on the used market. You can choose also the RX 580 from AMD. But I like Nvidia more for the drivers and video features which you can use in streaming, for example, or video editing. Okay, let's go next. For the RAM you should choose the cheapest 16GB kit of DDR4 with speeds not higher than 2666 MHz, because that is the only clock which the motherboard supports. Yes, Intel has locked up even memory overclock on chipsets which are lower than Z490, and it's very sad. So for dual channel, take 2 sticks of 8GB and it's more than enough for games nowadays. For the storage I chose 120GB 2.5-inch SSD. It's a standard cheap solid state drive from Crucial on which I installed Windows 10 Pro, and for everything else it's good to have more disk space. 1TB hard drive from Western Digital, for example, is great for it. To supply some power to this build I bought Seasonic S12 Free, a budget but very reliable power supply. Mine is 550 watts, but if you want to save some bucks you can buy a 500 watts version instead. It will be enough power for this system. Of course, somehow we need to build all of these components together, so here we have a very nice looking Aerocool Aero 1 Mini with good airflow. It comes with 4 included fans with RGB, which is amazing. There are 2 versions of this case, black and white. For this build I bought a black one. In the last video I was asked to show a build guide, so let's get started with a tiny how to build a PC as fast as you can. Let's start with the processor. To do this you need to open the socket on the motherboard by pulling the metal bar. Then we match the keys on the CPU and motherboard and close the socket. At the last moment the plastic cap flies away. Now we can install the cooler. It's very simple to do, but since I have already unpacked this included cooler before, there is no thermal paste on the radiator anymore. I applied my thermal grizzly and evenly fixed the cooler around all the edges. It's on clips here, so you don't even need to screw anything. After that, put the RAM inside the slots. We have 2 sticks, 4 clicks and you're done. Now let's go to the case. I opened both sides. Inside we can always find such a bag with all the necessary screws. Now let's insert the I/O shield before installing the motherboard. As soon as you put it in, take aim with the motherboard and look at which stands are missing in the case. Here it was necessary to add 2 stands, and you can tighten the motherboard in its place. At this stage you can also already install all the drives in the case. There is very little left, but showing the connection of all the wires is so boring. Better let's just skip it here. And now, with the magic of editing, all of the wires are connected. The final step is to install the graphics card into the PCI Express slot. We break out 2 metal brackets from the case and put in the GPU. I fixed it on 1 screw and prepared the wire from the power supply in advance to connect an 8-pin connector. That's it. The computer is fully assembled and ready for gaming. Let's go to the tests. Okay guys, I think it's a perfect build for 1080p gaming, which is the most popular resolution anyways. All the games games which you're going to see right now have optimized settings thanks to GeForce Experience for that. I will show the results in a few benchmarks first, and after that you'll see games. I've also overclocked a little bit the GPU so it has a little bit more power. So yeah, even in the most demanding games such as Assassin's Creed Valhalla or Watch Dogs Legion, we got more than 60 frames per second on average, even in internal benchmarks. And all the other games were nice and smooth to play. I can definitely recommend you building this PC if you have a low budget. Thank you so much for watching this video, guys. Please subscribe to the channel and leave a comment down below. See you soon in the next video on the next week. Bye.